Fluffy, why are you raging over Jacksonville hotels, man? Like, what? 10-minute long rant. What's going on there? Like, like what? I have so many questions. So many questions. But in the meantime, what's up, everybody? AJ Train's in here too. Good morning, man. How's everyone doing today? Got the day off today, so we're gonna do some more Silver Dollar City and more work on this. Man, this is looking great. Very, very happy about this. You know, I just walked by this last night. This bridge is definitely not this long. It's very short, actually. But it's okay. I'm not gonna make a big deal about it. You know, there's a few inaccuracies here and there, but we're just gonna live with some of them. I mean, we could make adjustments later, but you know, it's fine. It's fine. But today we have Ozark Marketplace. I do want to get a little bit work on that, and then I do want to do maybe Lost and Found. And if I'm feeling up to it, we can do or start on Eva and Delilah's Bakery. Those are the main things we have to finish here in Phase 1. After we get these things done, Phase 1 is going to be a breeze. We're almost done with Phase 1. But anyways, here's Dr. Awesome. Let's go. See a new rumor that the 2026 project for Great Adventure could actually be a Giga Blitz. I've actually heard that yesterday too. That would be insane. I think that'd be a worthy successor. Like, that would be insane. That's something Intamin would do too. Like, Intamin would 100% do something like that. Replace an Intamin with an Intamin, right? You should try and make a small park with about 4 rides. I actually really want to do something like, make like a small park, and honestly, I just want to get Planet Universe going again, you know what I mean? Really, I've been inspired a lot lately, so we've been live streaming a lot. Anyways, what is the map thing and the ground? So it's our floor plan. I don't know, it sounds like you haven't heard of doing something like this before. So when you do recreations, and if you want to do a one-to-one recreation, floor plans are a really good way to do that. You basically use Google Maps, take screenshots, and then use them on the custom billboards, place them on the ground, and you line them up perfectly, or at least as close as you can, and you can actually outline your park layout with it. So it's a very good way of doing recreations, and this is actually my first time fully fledged doing these floor plan like this, so it really helps with that, and the goal is to cover it all up, and it's going to be actually real. So you can see it's going to be awesome because like it just makes everything a lot easier to place, so you know where everything is supposed to be. You don't have to, I'm going to do as close as I can. There's going to be some inaccuracies. It's going to be very hard to fit some stuff into some spaces, but we're doing a good job. I think we've done a good job here with the entrance so far. You can kind of see this is where the parking lot pickup spot is and drop off. It's looking really cool. Does it come as a stock game or is it a mod? It is not a mod, no. You can only do it on PC though, so if you're on, it is not a mod. You can only do it on PC though, because you have to upload custom images. So if you're on PC, you can do this as well. There's tutorials on how to do floor plans in Planet Coaster 2, and you can also do it in Planet Coaster 1 as well. But yes, you do not need any sort of mods. The only mod I am using, but this is not required, but it does make it a lot easier. I am using the scaling mod to use these, make these projection screens a lot bigger. So I have to use less of them, but you don't have to use that. But I would love to go and tell you how to do it. But there are tutorials on YouTube that I recommend checking out. Just look it up. You know, Planet Coaster 2 floor plan tutorial or something along those lines, and you'll find those tutorials as well. I do recommend getting the scaling mod so you can actually scale or have more range of scaling, which is very, very useful in my opinion. But so I am using mods, but it doesn't, you can still do this without mods. So new info, thank you. You're totally welcome. Like, again, this isn't going to be a tutorial, so I'm not going to completely tell you how to do it, but yes, it is possible without mods. So How do you get Google Maps into the game to off for realism, just trying to recreate King's Island? Yeah, good questions. Again, there are tutorials on YouTube that I definitely recommend checking out. Maybe I'll make one myself, but there are a few on there that I would definitely recommend just looking up. And it'll really help you figure out how to do the floor plans. It's not too hard. It's actually pretty easy. I just know you have to be 20 meters or, you know, on Google Images, and you'll get the exact scaling correct, because that's the one thing that's important. You have to be have the scaling correct on how close you are to the floor plan, and it works. So Silver Star City is very challenging because obviously it uses a lot of terrain, as you can see, because it's going to be hard to like pull. And what I think we're going to be doing here mostly is going to be creating the pathway, and I'm just going to be pulling the terrain up to the pathway. That way we can still have our slopes. As you can see, I have the terrain or the pathway already leveling up here because it does go upwards here. And then I'm just going to pull the terrain up to it. You couldn't do that in Planet Coaster 1. It's really great. So, want to make a small park but build it over time like we would in Planet Universe. That's exactly what I want to do, J-Trains. I would love to, but I really want to. But I really want to get Planet Universe back up and running. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I'm going to do for it. It's going to be simplified, and it's going to be really great. I'm very excited to see what we do with Planet Universe again once I pick up the pieces. But I'm in a very busy time of the year right now, so once we get past this stage, I think I'll be able to pick it back up fairly soon. I got that motivation back again, so we've been live streaming a lot lately, so hopefully we can keep that going. And I've actually been very productive on my days off, so I'm off today, I'm off tomorrow, so you can probably expect to stream tomorrow as well. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into this. We need to go into and find some references. I did take, unfortunately, I didn't really get many photos yesterday because yesterday I would have had, it was at night by the time I got to these spots, so let me go to maps, not maps, let's go to YouTube and let's go to see if we can find like a park tour that where we can see the Ozark Marketplace pretty well. Let's see. There's actually a 360 video that walks through here, so that is what I've been using a lot of. There are some 360 videos. There's also some really good tour videos where we can find some of these spots as well. So not this one, it's this one. What starts literally inside the entrance, and it gives us a good look at our like rentals and stuff. So we might go ahead and start building the rental building, the rentals and Lost and Found, off to the side here. You can't see it on the floor plan, so we're just gonna have to guesstimate a little bit of where it's at. So that's what we're gonna do here, starting with rentals. So let's go ahead and get editing this building, and then I think we can just build off of this building and go from there. So we're going to start with that. We need a wooden wall piece. Yes, let's start with that. And then hopefully we can get some interior of Ozark Marketplace. I'm not sure if I'm going to go all out on the interior in Ozark Marketplace, but we can utilize the new feature of souvenir shops for that as well. I need to get better with making good scenery over the years of playing Planko, and I'm still not great at it. Absolutely, just practice makes perfect. Practice makes perfect, and you have to take your time. You can't rush it. As much as I know, I'm just, trust me. I'm bad at patience myself, and you just have to pace yourself in a way like where you're not gonna get burnt out. And I struggle with this all the time. It's really, really difficult, but just kind of have to try and pace yourself the best you can, and it is easier said than done, 100%. So, all right, that's not quite the color I want. We need a little bit more red. That's a little too orange, so let's get more red in there. Let's fade it out a little bit so it's not too kind of hard to find that color that we need. Looking at it, needs to be a little bit more bold. Oh, the game just crashed. That's great. All right. I don't know what happened there. That's great. Whoops. I've never seen the game crash like that before. I was just selecting a color. So that's interesting. Um, so hold on, we'll be right back. Just bear with me while the game decided to crash on me. So thankfully we didn't really get far. So. But anyways, thank you guys so much for joining. If you guys just joined in the last few seconds, Planet Coaster 2 just crashed. It's a very rare sight for me, actually. Like, it doesn't crash very often, so that was an interesting one. Especially when I'm doing something simple like that. Usually it's when I'm doing something very weird or, like, complicated, and when it does that, so... but we will get back in. The good thing is it doesn't take long to load the... Oh, crap. I just put this in a spot that was really hard to get a hold of. Okay. Alright, we're back. We're back. Reload that back up. But, alright, we're back in. We're back in. Thanks for your patience. Had to take a short commercial break. Alright, we're back in, and let's get back to where we were. Maybe we can have better luck finding that color. Maybe there's a glitch if you're trying to find that color, you know? For too long, maybe it glitches out a little bit. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure what caused that to crash. A little bit unfortunate, but no setback that we can't fix here. All right, not that. Where's the one that we were just at? This one. This one. This one. This one. This one. Yes, this one. Go back here. Let's get it back in place and recolor it and find the color that we need. Dark salmon might be good. That's actually really good. I like that color. Alright, actually, no. It's too orange. Too orange! I know I'm being very picky on the color here. Very picky. It needs more red. I can't find that right spot. I'm struggling with it. It's really hard to kind of see the color because it's kind of in the shade. It's a little shady in here, so... it's a little bit too vibrant, you know what I mean? Hard to find that really perfect color here. I feel like I need to fade it out, but then I feel like it gets too faded, and then it's like, maybe about right there. Right there might be pretty good. Hey, welcome to the stream. How's it going? It's going great. What about you? How are you doing? Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate it. Thank you guys again so much for being here, guys. If you haven't already, like the stream. We only got 1 like so far. Come on. Let's like the stream, man. Let's go for it. We gotta get our likes up. We gotta get everyone involved. We gotta get that engagement. Let's make it happen. I appreciate all you guys being here. You guys are amazing. Also, can we just appreciate that in Planet Coaster 1 they didn't have these off-grid wall pieces, and then when they added the themes in here, they actually added these pieces in. So these are new pieces that were not in the game before that they decided to add for us, because Planet Coaster, the Planet Coaster 2 themes have these off-grid pieces, these off-grid wall pieces, and then they added it for us here in Planet Coaster 2. Isn't that great? Today's your birthday? What the heck? Well, happy birthday, Sawyer's Aviation. Happy birthday, man. Everyone say happy birthday in chat. I hope you have a wonderful birthday. I'm streaming just for you, man. So glad you're streaming. Yeah, it was just for you. I heard it was your birthday, so I had to get a stream going, you know? That's exactly what it was. No, for real though, happy birthday, man. I hope it is fantastic. My birthday's coming up myself, actually. So my birthday is August 22nd, so my birthday will be next month. Just a little less than a month now. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. But no, have a fantastic day today. I'm glad that makes me feel good that you're spending it watching my streams. So also makes me feel like makes me feel special a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and get rid of that. Actually, we're going to go in and actually utilize these. I actually think this will be perfect, using the little window here. I need to place a reference of a human being in here, so I know where they're sitting. So I know where the window's sitting at. All right, so we're gonna do that. This looks awful right now, but we're gonna get this fixed. So we have our guest reference here, so we can kind of tell where that's sitting. So yeah, we might actually need this lowered. That's a little bit too low, and that's too high. No, wait, that's not too high. That's about perfect, right? About perfect, maybe. I don't know. All right, we just gotta get this situated a little bit correctly, and then we're gonna adjust that. Don't worry about it. Don't worry, we will get it fixed. I promise. I'm not gonna leave it hanging like that. Ooh, okay. I don't know how big this should be. We don't really have a limit on space here. Like, if we want to make this a little bit bigger than what it is, in real life, that is totally fine. We don't really have, like, a thing. So, anyways. Come on, chat. Let's talk about it. Let's get it a talking. Okay, so this is actually, yeah, just one window. That'll be fine. Like a double window. It's fine. And then we'll go ahead and... how tall is this? It's not very tall compared with the window there. We need the small piece. There we go. We're going to place it up here after we get the grid size correct. Lost and found. Okay, that's too tall. Gotta get it just right. I missed a bit. What are you making? We just got here. I mean, you didn't miss much, because this is literally like the first thing we're building. So, we haven't really done much. I mean, unless you want to see what we did, like, in the last few days. Which we did do some stuff. Okay, so like there's a little diagonal piece. We gotta get kind of precise here, because boom, those are gonna be the nice windows that will be in there. We'll probably put some booths, actual functional booths here, so guests can actually use this. But yeah, we're making the Lost and Found building, rental/Lost and Found building right next to the Ozark Marketplace. Then we're going to work a little bit on the Ozark Marketplace today. And then the last thing we need to do for phase 1, as I'm calling it, is going to be even Delilah's bakery, the little bakery that's right at the entrance as you go into the park and also exit, because you have to be tempted with some delicious bakery items before you leave the park. I mean, it just makes sense, right? All right, so over here, we're ready to get our roofing kind of started. It has some weird roofing stuff kind of going on here. But yeah, we've been working on the entrance area, which is phase 1 of this recreation. I'm really hoping to get phase 1 done fairly soon, so we can really focus on everything else later on. So we can really get moving on the park and get into the more exciting stuff, like when we actually start building the rides and stuff. So if you've ever followed me for a while and watched my original recreation in Planet Coaster 1, you'll see, hopefully, a huge difference here in Planet Coaster 2 for this. So at least that's my hopes. I don't know how well this is going to turn out. We might have to use a short piece, the custom piece, like the non-gridded piece, so we can actually make it a little bit shorter and actually fit this a little bit properly. This roof is really weird, so it's kind of weird. I just said weird so many times, but it's weird. Alright, so I think it's up here. Yes. So here's our non-gridded piece, because we need this to be a little bit shorter. and actually kind of match up in here a little bit. Yeah, this will be fine. And then we're just going to use this roof piece here. I actually think I have it backwards. Maybe, I'm not sure. That looks more like the end piece right there. Let's go ahead and go a little bit less like that. That will reach over nicely. All right, and then we're just gonna push this. Too bad here. This is where things get a little bit tricky, is the roofing here is very wonky. Very, very wonky, so we're gonna have to improvise a tiny bit to get it exactly where we want. Again, this is a very weird shaped building. Like, there's like a diagonal spot here, and then the roofing gets very funky. So let's get into it. I really don't know exactly what I'm going to do here. We can use like these weird pieces maybe to kind of help out. Only thing is, it's kind of, we might have to really get in here, rescale it a little bit, just kind of fit this piece in here. That's gonna be our best bet, I think. And we're gonna have to get some weird angling stuff going on here. We gotta turn off the grid and basically just kind of fit this in here. It's gonna be weird, but I believe in me, right? I believe in me. Just kind of fit this in. All right, beautiful. And then we'll get the other side. Just gotta scale it down. Ooh, I don't know how that weird. See, that's it's like, how do I connect that? I can maybe like rotate it up like this, but that's kind of awkward too. But it kind of helps connect the two roof pieces here a little bit. I said this is going to be very kind of awkward but it's all right. I don't know if we can do that. I might just have to do this. That kind of works. It's still kind of weird, but you know, as long as it's connected, I think it will work though. I think it will work. And then if we use some non-gridded pieces, we can really get this connected. It's gonna be weird, but you know, sometimes you just gotta just make things work, you know? Very, very awkward, but we're gonna make it. Alright, angle snap. Because we need to have this a little bit covered. We'll also go ahead and rescale it. Man, the scaling tool, man. Again, another reason why I can't go back to Planet Coaster 1. Have you ever thought about getting a team together to work on this? I mean, it has crossed my mind before, yes. And I understand how more efficient probably it would be to actually get people working on it. But I guess I'm very touchy on how I want this thing to look. So, and I also don't know exactly who I would have with me on it. So that's another thing, is just like, I don't know. I guess part of me, I mean, it might sound a little bit selfish, but I kind of want it to be mine. Does that kind of make sense? I want this to be my creation. I want to be the one that has this under my name. Like, oh, Joe created this whole entire thing. With that being said, I might use a few blueprints here and there, but depending on the situation, but I don't know if that makes any sense, but I guess it's just me being slightly selfish, wanting all the credit. I don't know if that makes sense, but again, I know it sounds a little selfish, but I get what you mean. It would be a lot easier on me, because it would make sure that this thing could get done, rather than relying on just me alone. I could be okay with people working on a couple of things. we'll have to wait and see. Like, if I'm struggling with something, I did have some people help me with the first original one on some things, you know, but I want to be the one in control. In a way, yeah, it's kind of like a control thing. Like, I'm sure people would do a fantastic job getting this put together and working on it. But I'm just like, I don't know. But a team of people working on it would make a lot of sense still, too. Because, like, if anyone was to work on anything, it wouldn't be anything exciting. I would definitely be taking the exciting stuff. Like, I'm building all the coasters. There's no ifs, ands, or buts there. Like, I'm doing all that stuff for sure. So, see, this is a really awkward piece or spot right here, trying to get this in here. Get this exactly where we need it. These planks aren't gonna really match up. The good thing with Silver Dollar City is this stuff looks a little wonky already, so if stuff looks a little bit wonky, it kind of fits in just fine, and I have a way that I'm going to cover this up. It's just hard to get that little spot in there kind of covered up properly. I'm going to just kind of try and cover it up, and hopefully no one will notice. You know what I'm saying? Huge puzzle, yeah, because people have different building styles, you know, and I wanted to make it look like it was built by one person, you know, and people are fantastic, you know. There's a lot of people that could definitely do an amazing job, but like, people have different building styles. I have the fear that it would clash a little bit, like we would all do stuff a little bit differently on certain things, and it would be very noticeable. I know it's a recreation, so we'd all be trying to make it look a certain way, or look good, but I don't know. Does that make sense? Like, right, so get these in place. This will look fantastic when it's all done. We have a rentals building come together. Let's go. All right. Team builds and collabs suck. Just do your own thing and use your workshop as needed. I mean, that's good too. Like, I think collabs are fine if you're doing it like with friends and stuff, and you just want to create something, you know, together. I think that's fine. So make some stores, maybe blueprint if you can add it or remove things and see how I mean, that's definitely a good idea. Like, I'm open to that. Like, if people want to build like certain buildings and stuff, like say on the square, if anyone wants to build like the general store and stuff, and then I make the changes as necessary to fill the needs that I want. So I mean, I would be open to that. If people want to present their stuff, I wouldn't guarantee I would use it all, and then obviously I would definitely let them know that I might make changes to it, you know, if I feel needed to. But the only other thing is it needs to fit in. Obviously, needs to fit within the floor plan as well. So if it doesn't fit in the floor plan, I'm not sure if I can make it work. Potentially, it just depends. If it fits in that floor plan, I mean, I could make changes to make it to where it does fit, but you know. Alright, I did not make this exactly the same height, so we're going to slightly adjust that. Perfect. Very good, very good. Go ahead and make our openings here. I'm not going to do much of interior. Again, I'll probably just throw in some like information booths in here. So there'll be actual functioning booths in here that are technically functional and real. Which will be perfect for what we want to do. There's the seasonal stalls. We could maybe have people drop those on the workshop. They're relatively uniform. I mean, I guess so, yeah. Y'all make great points. You really do. Because I know a lot of people would probably love to be able to help out with this kind of stuff, you know, with the all of this and such. For sure. Trying to avoid those pesky overlapping fighting textures here. We just want that to overlay a little bit. Anyways, alright, this is starting to look like a the Lost and Found booth a little bit. There are some doors right here that lead into it. Oh gosh, I gotta sneeze, hold on. Excuse me. Bless me. Alright. Sneezing sometimes is so relieving. You know what I'm saying? I feel so relieved after that. We're gonna go in here, and then there's like just the little storage area for like all the stuff also as well. Let's just, I don't know what the back looks like here. We're just going to kind of just utilize this. Just kind of close it up, you know what I'm saying? If I can place it in the right spot. That went through. We don't want that to go through that wall because we might have a little bit interior stuff going on in there, potentially. So this one I might not be able to fix, but we're gonna have to probably hide that if we do some interior in there. All right, so let's go ahead and head into our facilities. Now we do have this path that we are gonna have to figure out as well. I might have to lift this up a bit to kind of match where the pathing is, because it's going to be a little bit difficult. I'll probably just build off of this path and make it work there. So before we get too far, let's try and get this path, a nice straightened path here that we can use here. Texture, and then we need to, yeah, see, that's going to be a little bit difficult to get this all connected properly. It's going to be a little bit on the weird side. This is also going to be a lot more of space than it should be, I feel like. But you can see where this path sits at. We might have to raise this up a bit, which I think will be okay if we're careful. And then we can literally just connect these the way we need to. The hardest part is like filling in stuff that that change where the elevation changes. Like that's kind of stuff that's hard because we have to do like stuff like this, and yet you need it to snap to the higher points here where it's even with that, and then we have to like really try and blend these together. It's a little difficult, but it does work. The editing tool is very powerful, and if you do it right, boom, like look at that. We got that kind of connected, and it works. So what we're gonna have to do here, let's raise our guest right here, and then we're gonna go ahead and edit all of this, and we're gonna have to take all these guys. Don't want to edit any of these pieces. We just want to move this and change the grid height. There's one piece that did not get connected there, so we're gonna have to adjust that. But I guess it was also connected there. And what was the piece that, oh, these walls were not supposed to move, and they did. the thing. Terrain and elevation changes are a little bit of a challenge. Why is that connected? Why I didn't click on that, bro. I don't know why the roof wants to be involved so much, but it does. Alright, this is the piece that didn't move that I saw, so we'll get that back up there. Perfect. Glad you got to see it. Anyways. Bum, 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 bum. I gotta tell you, Summer Nights is very brutal at Sordar City, and it's just awful. I think they need to make some changes, personally. But, guest services... What am I looking at? Staff facilities. No, we want... Guest service counter. Guest service shop. There we go. I'm literally just going to use one of these. Like so. I don't know if that is connected with the thing. I got it fitting in there, but I don't know if it is accessible. May kind of slightly delete that, then we'll go ahead and make sure this is connected. It is a little bit higher than expected, so let's go ahead and maybe lower it down. I'm just gonna have to select everything here. No. Edit this building, then select everything here, and then... Why does it select everything but that one piece? There it goes, I got it that time. Make sure our height is... very hard to tell if it's connected to that pathway. You know what I'm saying? It's very hard to tell. The only way to kind of know is like if you delete this and then just like connect it. Like, you can see it's slightly higher than what it should be. Now we could split this from the building and then kind of probably get a more precise placement, which is what we might do. So like if I select all this plus other stuff's not going to try and do that. I just wanted it to be on that grid. All right, so if we take this and then we go ahead and split from building, I can literally just raise and lower this to perfectly align with our paths. See how that you see how it shifted a little bit? It automatically connected with that path. So that's perfect right there. I don't like how it raised the terrain a little bit, but that's fine. We can fix that if we need to. It's not a big deal, and it's honestly not going to affect anything for us. So let's go ahead and get the stamp builder here because we need to get some path here. Go ahead and edit. Just snap that in there. So it is just fine. That's fine. This is all fine. Alright, that's good. And then for this opening, I think we're just going to have this as a fake window. So we're just going to just do like a window. Generic window. Sordar City, where is it? I'm from the Netherlands, never heard of it. Really? You never heard of it? If you're involved, I mean, if you've been part of, you know, the theme park community, most people have heard it before, even if you haven't been in the US before. So, it is located in Branson, Missouri, in United States. And it is a, park themed to an 1880s a little town. and has been voted as the best theme park for 3 years in a row. It's been voted, at least from USA Today, it's been voted as the best park in the United States. Not everyone will agree with that, but, like, it is still a cool title to have. It's a very charming park. And not many people dislike it, so... And it's where I work as well. I work at the park. Now, that's not perfect, but, you know, it's just there to be there. And that kind of works just fine right there. I might add a little divider here. So it kind of... Oh, maybe. I'm not sure. Might work just keeping it open like that. Just for the functionality of it. So we can keep the functionality kind of good. Okay, so this will, like, immediately connect with even Delilah's, which is the bakery. But we need to add a few doors right here. Worked in a amusement park for 10 years. I'd never heard of it. Sounds good. You really have never heard of Silver City? That's insane. That's incredible. It's one of the most well-known parks in America, so... It really is. Like, and really in, like, the last 10 years or so, like, it didn't used to be that noticeable. Like, it wasn't that, you know, not many people knew about it as much as they do now, but, like, it really started to take off, I think, once Outlaw Run was added. That was really what sparked, I think, the interest with, like, coaster enthusiasts and stuff, is when they started adding rides like Outlaw Run, Time Traveler, and such like that. Should look into it. Yeah, you definitely should. It's a really great park, and it's been great to work at as well. I've been working there for 12 years now. I'm over 2 coasters that are in the park. Outlaw Run and Powder Keg. And Silver City has a lot of unique rides and stuff like that too, and the theming is really, really good. So it's not just your average amusement park. It is actually a theme park, and it actually started, just to give you a little history on the park, where the park came from. It actually started out as just cave tours, because Silver City, believe it or not, actually sits above a cave called Marvel Cave, as you can see right here. And it started out as just cave tours, and the Herschens bought the cave, and it's fascinating the way this park was developed, because it was just the cave. That's literally all it was cave tours, and the cave was so popular that that the wait times were just insane to get into the cave for the tours. So they decided to, which is where this square is right now, they decided to start building some, like, entertainment stuff around the cave, so guests had the ability to, and they were entertaining the guests while they waited for their cave tour. So they started adding attractions like a general store. They added a blacksmith shop and a few other things. Hannah's like an ice cream parlor, and it gave you a few things to do. I think they had some live entertainment, and it gave you things to do while you waited for your cave tour, and that's when Silver City was born in 1960. And then they just started adding more and more attractions around the cave, and it became what it is today after over 65 years of operation now. So we're celebrating 65 years now, which is just insane to me that the park's been open that long now. So, and it has a lot of that old charm, especially in the Midtown area. You'll see a lot of those original buildings from the 60s and stuff like that. And it's just grown to this massive, insane, amazing park that in the Ozark Mountains. So, and then obviously the views in the Ozarks are insane, because we have a lot of hills and a lot of, like, large hills and landscapes. Like, it's a very beautiful area. to have a theme park sitting on, and it's very beautiful. So really fun. And not many theme parks can say they have cave tours. So Marvel Cave is really cool. I definitely recommend. If you ever do come out to Silver City, you have to do the cave tour. And it sits right here at the entrance inside the hospitality house. I live next to Dollywood, the sister park. I've been to Dollywood many times. I try to go there every year. I wish I had more left from Silver City days. Yeah, because it used to be Silver City, Tennessee before it became Dollywood. It was actually a Silver City park, and then Dollywood and Herschend partnered together, and they transformed it into what it is today, which is Dollywood. So does working there make it less exciting? I want to apply for Dollywood, but don't want it to make it like working at fast food, hating the food after. I mean, you get to ride the rides all the time, and to me, that's just amazing. There's an amazing perk to it, you know. And obviously, after riding it so many times, it loses a little bit, but like, um, it's still an incredible place to be. Like, I still visit it on my days off, stuff like that. So now I'll give you another. The reason why they called it Silver Dollar City, that the reason where it gets its name, is actually, you know, when they had those shops up there and everything, it was kind of like an advertising thing. So when people would buy stuff, Silver Dollar City would give people back their change in silver dollars. So they would have these people would be running around with these silver dollars, and people would ask, "Oh man, where'd you get that silver dollar?" People would say Silver Dollar City, and it was kind of like a unique like way of advertising the park, because like they didn't give you back cash, they'd give you back silver dollars and change, which is so cool in my opinion. They don't do that anymore, obviously, but like that was such a cool thing that they did back in the day. And that's why it has the name Silver Dollar City. So there's a lot of rich history behind this park, and honestly, it's so cool to know about the history of the park and how it got its name, where it originated from just a cave underground, and it's just insane that this entire park sits above the cave. There's literally a cave underneath this park, which is really cool, and it's one of the largest caves out there actually. So it's a really big cave. And the cave tour is one of the most unique things in a theme park I've ever seen. So I haven't actually been in the cave in quite some time. The cave tour is free as well with your admission, so like it's included with your admission. It's not like an upcharge. The only upcharge, they do have lantern tours where they turn all the lights off in the cave and you just use lanterns. That is an upcharge, but it's not super expensive. But if you want to just do the regular cave tour, it is included with your admission. So that's another cool thing. It's not like an upcharge attraction or anything like that. Very cool. It is amazing. At least I think so. All right, let's get we need to get the fence over here. We need to make a custom fence, and then we also have like a little storage area for all the rentals and such. Like a little storage building for that, so might as well get that built. And then that will connect us to Eva and Delilah's. So we'll go about right. Let's go about right here. Right here's a good spot. We need to change the color of this though to kind of like the tannish color. I'm gonna say it's a little bit darker. And then this is where they have like storage for that stuff. And then we have that fence that we're going to build here. We're going to build a custom fence for this. And let's go into our wood. We probably need to go into the wood planks. I turned my caps lock on. So we'll go planks here. Planks. These are good for creating some nice custom fencing. Actually, we're gonna start. I keep changing my mind. We're gonna start with the wooden pillars here, which are nice. So we're gonna go here. We change the color slightly. Let's go about right around there. And then these are not going to be this thick, so we use our scaling tool to scale that down. fence is going to be right around right here, and then we'll have a base as well. Make sure it lines up with the path well enough. And then we're going to use the planks for the rest of it. So which we can also change to the same color. And we need a shorter piece. The shorter piece. There we go. Very, very nice. These are thinner. Do we want to use the thinner pieces for this? We can. I think what we're going to do is just do like that. It's a challenge to get these the same color because since they're different textures, they are not going to be the same exactly. So get you in like that, and then we need some thicker planks. So we're gonna take these planks here. Scale them down a little bit. And create a little bit of a custom fence. There are different like sizes of these, but we're going to keep them kind of consistently the same just for simplicity purposes. Go ahead and select that, and this is going to be our template for our little bit of our I'm doing the wrong thing. I'm getting sloppy here. All right. This is straightened, and then we can literally just take this, go across like this, so, and that's our custom fence that is going into effect. And then this is going to connect us with Eva and Delilah's coming around here. So we're going to slightly bend this way, like so. And this will lead us into kind of like the outdoor seating area for Eva and Delilah's, which is the amazing bakery location. Excited to see your build of Fire in the Hole. I can give you a sneak peek of Fire in the Hole because we've already started on it. We haven't gotten far, but I have given some folks, every time we're in here, I do give some sneak peeks of some of the rides, because I have created some of the trains already, since we can create custom trains in Planet Coaster 2. So, and I did start on it a little bit before I decided I was going to recreate the entire park, so we did create it a little bit, which is a nice, very nice touch. So, I'll show you guys that. If we zoom out here, you might see a few coaster stations here, and you can see we already started on Fire in the Hole over here with our custom trains as well. It's really, really cool. We have the onboard audio, we have the entire audio, and I have it lined up, so I can give you a little example, a little sneak peek of what it's going to be like. I pushed the wrong button. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, here we go. Obviously, it's not dark yet. To set the whole town ablaze. Go! Bum, bum, bum. Chickens. As always. Chickens. Drop that dynamite or I'll have to shoot. Go ahead, Marshall. You couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. Hell. Ball knobbers and stop that fire. Flinders? Here, put on your pants. Can't Sadie? I ain't got no pants no more. The dang ball knobber stole them. Call me bugs for nothing. Don't worry, they don't bite much. Bum, 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 bum.
Hurry!
The palm lover's gonna blow up the bridge. Bum, 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 bum. Bum,
Get
bum,
that
bum.
crate over here!
Don't mess up my new pants, you ornery
Pack
fool.
them bundles under the dresser!
Can't you even tie a ding-dang knot?
Hurry.
What's the matter?
To answer your question, yes. Planet Coaster 2 is way easier to build in than Planet Coaster 1 for recreation.
Now look at what you done!
Uh-oh. I think I'm stuck.
Oh, I can't reach!
Oh, bridge ain't gonna hold. Bye-bye. I even got the effect, kind of a testing of the roof collapsing. Patches, we foiled your plot, and now we're using your dynamite to blow up the water tower and put out the fire.
Don't throw that
Switch, the train's coming that way. Gonna blow fire in the hole. Loosh.
Thank you, heroes. We couldn't have caught those
good for nothing
bone
bombers without you.
Give yourselves a big old pat on the back.
And of course,
You
we do
deserve
have
it.
the celebration
And
scene
it'll
at the
also
end
put out any
with the
stray
video
sparks.
as well.
So long.
This is a nice touch. Celebrating that they put out the fire. And that's fire in the hole. At least what we got finished of it. Again, I did start on it, saved it as a blueprint, so that way when we do get down to this, we can actually build the rest of it. So going into a sneak peek of some of the other things, we did build or create Outlaw Runs Trains, which is one of the rides I work on, actually. It's actually where I started at Silver City, and I'm still working there to this day. We have the Western Missouri Stagecoach theming, which has the WM on the sides, and the Silver City the text on the front. And then we have Powder Keg over here, which is going to be a very challenging one. We did do it in Planet Coaster 1 as well, but we did create the trains as to the best of our ability, at least for right now, for Powder Keg also. And then we got Wildfire over here, which is just, I didn't do much here. I just put the Sword Art City logo on the front. And of course, we have Time Traveler, which is, I did create a recreation of it already, so I already had some trains ready for it as well, which is pretty cool. We might change it up a little bit, but yeah, that's gonna be really, really fun once we get to those. I'm very, very excited. The first coaster we're probably gonna build in this recreation is going to be Wildfire, which we did not do too much in the original recreation, but very, very excited to see where that goes. So, hey, what's up, Joe? How's it going? I've been fantastic. How have you been? Good to see you in chat. Good to see you once in a while. But yeah, that's how it's going. So very, very cool stuff. Very, very cool stuff. I'm excited. We have so much to do, and I'm trying to stay very active in trying to get this done. It has been a while. It hasn't been too crazy long, but then again, time goes by really quick. So it probably has been longer than I think. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this back up and going, and then I know I was saying I was probably going to work on OMP for a little bit, but I feel like even Delilah is probably going to be a little bit easier to work on right now, so could be wrong, maybe not, but I feel like it's right here, and we're going to get some good shots of it from the reference that I have, and it's hard to get more references of the Ozark Marketplace on the inside, so maybe we'll find some. You're going to be down there this weekend? Awesome. I'm actually off Saturday. I'm working Sunday, but I think I'm working 4 to 10 Sunday, so I'm working late Sunday. So I actually am not going to be working on the rides. I'm actually a supervisor on Sunday, so working a supervisor position that day, which is fun. Guest excellence. We do guest excellence that day. I think we can use the canopy pieces for this if we have the right stuff. Maybe that one or this one would probably be the best. Just do the same colors. Yeah, very good. And then scale it down to where we need it. It's got like some tarps here. And that will be perfect for the storage area for that. Pull that back a little bit. Actually, perfect right there. All right, and then that will lead us into Even Delilah's, which is actually a really good spot for it. I think we're doing good on our placement here, because this will be the trees are covering up so much in here that, you know, and it's okay because it's not like matters if we get this 100% correct, because obviously it's just surrounded by trees and it's not like a big deal if we get this slightly off. The big challenging part with Even Delilah's, it is kind of built a little bit on a slant, so it makes it a little bit hard to connect with the pathway a tiny bit. So, but pathing is just so much easier to work with in Planet Coaster 2 as compared to Planet Coaster 1. Like, I feel like I can make the terrain changes a lot easier in here, and it's not as much of a headache, so I'm very happy with that. And while we're at it, while we're here, we probably want to continue our with our pathing a little bit here. Kind of get that connected, and you can see when we have little issues like this, it's so much easier just to go beep and then connect it if it will allow us. Usually it will snap. Being a little finicky right now, but usually you can snap these points to fit each other most of the time. It's being a little booger right now, though. It's being a little bit of a booger. Sometimes if you use the line builder, you can kind of connect it like that. There we go. That's going to be the way to go. You just kind of fiddle with it a little bit, and it will work out for you in the end. And that will lead us into the bakery area. And we could probably start creating the entrance to the bakery. I know this part of the building, and this part of the building is actually kind of covered by trees, so we can't really see it in the overhead shot, but it will be fine. Actually going to continue. Always wants to only connect with that, which is very obnoxious because I want to use this piece. But it's hard to select because it's stubborn sometimes. There we go. It always wants to select the roof only. Like, come on, man. Work with me a little bit. There we go. That's gonna be fine. Gonna be fine. We do have some tables here that we can potentially get in there. Hopefully we can see what is going on with the bakery entrance here. Can I up the settings so I can see it a little more clearly, maybe? Yeah, that's actually good right there. So go ahead and deselect that. And the bakery entrance, we're going to try and fit in here. It is pretty big, and it's going to be hard to kind of fit with that a little bit, but that's all right. We don't have to be precise. We can be a little bit off. It's all right. That's not going to be a huge issue if we're a little bit off, because, again, we're not really connected with anything here, so we can be off a little bit if we want to make it. If our aim is to make it look good, we can be off slightly. So not a issue. So once we get this building in, we really don't have much in phase 1 left when it comes to building wise. We just have to get this all closed up and good to go. So very, very nice. I'm looking at this. We have a tree in between there. Just get that there, and then we can continue the building slightly off to the side. Also there, and we're just going to get some of the structure kind of started here. This overhang like this. And we're just going to start. Kind of hard to see if it's vertical. I think we're just gonna use the vertical wood pieces. I don't think it matters too much. It does a little bit, but it doesn't matter that much. So. We have some doorways that we can also place down. It kind of has that orangish color. That is way too vibrant. Use this for now. We have the doorways there. I might push it, these walls, a little bit further forward. If we turn down the grid size, we can push them forward a bit. So we've got the spot that we needed. And get our doors in there. Right wood planks. And there's a big old sign here that says Delilah's Bakery. It's actually probably a good thickness, actually, on the default spot. Really, really good. But thank you guys so much for being here, guys. If you haven't already, hit that like button. And like the stream. Don't forget to like the stream. You know, we got to get as much engagement as we can. If you're not subscribed, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of these live streams or any of the videos I might put out of these parks. So, if you like Planet Coaster and theme park simulation games in general, I definitely recommend subscribing if you haven't already. And if you like theme parks in general, also. We make some fantastic creations, recreations, like, we're gonna do it all. I accidentally placed that down when I didn't want to. I don't know why it doesn't automatically go to snap to the roof anymore. It's kind of sucks, but it doesn't that for us, but we'll manage, I suppose so. Turn, snap back on so we can be precise. Is this slightly off compared to the other side? Well, maybe it's not. Looks like it was, though. Just adjust both sides real quick. That's fine. And the good thing about Sword City is if it's slightly off, that's fine, because a lot of their buildings are very imprecise and slightly off, so in general. I've kept the grid off. Say it's nice for building roofs. It just takes time to get adjusted to. Yeah, I feel like it could be nice, but I want people to be able to easily load the park some. I mean, let's be honest, I'm using a lot of mods, so like if anyone wants to load this park properly, they're probably going to have the mods. Let's be real. So I shouldn't be too scared. I've already committed on using mods in a lot of areas in this park, so already committed to it, so I shouldn't be too scared to use more. And understandable if people don't like that, but I'm not sure if everyone's gonna have that turned on and off. I don't know if it will crash the game if they have it turned, if they don't have the mod when it comes to like buildings like that. I don't know if it would crash, so I'm a little scared with that. But you know, with the scaling, it doesn't actually like, because we have off-grid wall pieces already and a few off-grid roofs for the most part, so like I work around it a little bit. It is nice, and it is I'm glad that the option is there, but I feel like we have enough tools to where I don't really have to have that turned on. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like I could get by without having it turned on, and it is just fine overall. See, that's too thick. We don't want those thick pieces. That's why I sometimes go with the floor pieces. The floor pieces can be a little bit. There are thinner pieces somewhere. I don't know where they're at. I thought they were in usually the floor pieces, but because I don't want that big thick piece, I want a thin piece. I guess it is roof pieces. Just need a flat metal roof. No one's gonna see it really, so it's fine. Everything's totally fine. If I can select a piece here, I can. Basically, I want this to go pretty much to the building here. It'd be really good. I think they ever give Wildfire new vest restraints and track overhaul. Like, they don't need a track overhaul. Wildfire is perfectly smooth. It's one of the smoothest B&Ms out there, actually, if you ask me. It doesn't need a retrack. As for vest restraints, I don't think it needs it. I think all of that would be unnecessary for Wildfire. Wildfire is perfectly fine. It doesn't really need anything. Really, really doesn't. It's, to me, it runs perfect. Practically perfect, if you ask me. Basically perfect. Let's get the tree that goes right here. There is a nice tall tree. Let's turn align the surface off. Go into our trees and find one that is going to be great here. There's just trees everywhere that just cover up everything. B&M headbanging. There's no headbanging though. There really isn't. Just slightly put your head forward. There's no headbanging. I've never had any issues headbanging on B&Ms. I really haven't. If you know how to ride them, and then again, it's easy on Wildfire because it's so smooth. There's like no headbanging in general on Wildfire. There really isn't. I feel like this needs support. I don't know if there is beams here, but I'm gonna put one here anyways, just so it looks supported. My view's kind of blocked here, so maybe if I go over here, I could see the view. It does kind of just hang over there. There actually is a beam right there, so that works just fine. Looking back at it, and there's a tree right in front of that as well. So there's just trees everywhere. Again, it's all my opinion, but Wildfire doesn't need anything. Like, it's perfect the way it is. You're tall, so your head's above the strengths. Hey, I guess that's an advantage to you, right? I just slightly put my head forward in the slightest and just go with the flow of the track. Like, and then I've never had an issue with it. I'm not the biggest fan of the vest restraints. They're not the worst in the world, but like, I'm not the biggest fan of the vest restraints. So I like the older school B&M restraints because I feel like you get better airtime, and it just, the G-forces are just so much better with the old school restraints. I think you just get better forces with them. That is my opinion. Alright, here's our Eva and Delilah sign. As you can see, I'm kind of going a little off of this, but like we're going to be slightly off, not by much because this part will go this way. Yeah, they do get a little tight on those Vesser strands. They do kind of pin you in, and it just, there's not as much, you don't feel the forces as much. Add a family launch coaster like Big Bear, but I also think a tilt coaster could be a really cool addition and would fit well in the lineup, get well with some other terrain. I don't think they'll ever get a tilt coaster, but I do agree on a family coaster like Big Bear. It's a big gap in their lineup, if you ask me. I don't think they have a solid family coaster. The closest thing we have is Thunderation, but I'd keep your eyes out on whatever we're getting in 2027. There is construction going on, and I think that will fill that gap pretty soon. So we're not getting anything for 2026, but 2020, well, I mean, we're getting the resort late 2026, but keep a lookout for 2027. Exciting stuff. I feel like this is too much of a gap between this and the buildings. A little bit too open. This stuff's gonna happen, so there's gonna be some inaccuracies, and I just don't feel like it's necessary to fix all of them perfectly, so sometimes there's just gonna be a lot more open area, and I think that's okay. Park said there's nothing coming in 2026. There's nothing. Unless it's like a festival or something, but no, there's nothing coming in 2026. The only thing coming in 2026 and late 2026 is going to be the resort, which has gone vertical, by the way. It is starting to go up, which is pretty cool to see. Alright, we actually might need to raise this building up a little bit. The slightest, since we're going to be on the same level right there. And I want to make the texture of the ground here. Resort looks Disney level. I think it's going to be pretty cool. It's gotten a lot of backlash from people, which I think is ridiculous, but whatever, it's their opinions. Opinions differ sometimes, so it's just how it is. Alright, just to make it look a little bit different from the other plank, we're going to flop it around like that and continue on like so. Yeah, that makes it look a lot better. I think once we add some chairs and just some more stuff, it'll help everything. We're just gonna get these all the way up here. That is looking. I'm happy with that. It looks great. I'm pretty satisfied with how it's looking. So. And of course, it's gonna do that. Let's select 4 of these. There's kind of like a weird angled spot here for these, so I'm gonna try and do that. Can I get those under? It would look better if they went under. That's That's where the tree is gonna be, and then these other guys will just expand it this way. Just gonna have to adjust until we get exactly what we're looking for here. Got to get that angle. Get on our level, you know what I'm saying? Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. We got a tree in here. That's right there. So let's get that tree in there. We need trees. Silver Dollar City. We gotta have trees. Actually, like, it's like a trio of trees. It's kind of weird. Actually, this one will work quite well if we maybe do something like this. Scale it down a little bit. And there's like a barrel with a sign on it right in front of that. So let's get the barrel. We'll use the Viking one. The Viking one looks a little bit better. Now we are going to have to connect this path. It's going to be tricky, like I said. So much easier than Planet Coaster 1, though. Is it going to be tricky? Yes. Still easier than Planko 1, though. Sometimes utilizing the line builder kind of helps, because like if I just connect that there, usually you can at this point plop them together. Might get some weird steep levels here though. So, usually it tries to blend it all together though. If you, it does snap like that. The thing goes over here and like it's higher elevation up here, so it's kind of weird. It'd be difficult to try and get in there, but we're gonna get this building built right here. As you can see, it goes all the way over here. And then that will lead us up to the hospitality house building, which gets us into the square at that point. So alright, we're gonna try our best here to get this building started. It is gonna be a little bit challenging, but we're up for the challenge. So. I've been a little scared getting into this building, but like I said, we're gonna do it. This is actually very orange, a lot oranger. A little bit more orange, and a little bit more fade. I think that's pretty close to where we want to be. See where the building is, but that the roof overhangs, and that's where the roof I think is, so we're gonna go with that. We got, let's do about half a grid and a half right there. We have like the little furnace, like chimney thing that goes through right there as well. I don't want to go too far because the elevation does change quite a bit up here, so we got to be a little bit careful with that. Also, we've got all this started now. It's looking good. We do have a little like weird building off to the side over here too, which is like right across from this. I'm like very inaccurate here, but that's okay. You are not selecting what I am clicking on. Just saying. Could utilize this building a little bit. The night is coming. Don't remind me of that. The worst day for employees. Thankfully, I have a split so far, unless something crazy happens. But by all means, don't remind me of that. I like to forget about that day. I'm gonna try and finesse this. This is gonna be the one little thing. If we can push this building where we need to, we can. Trying to put it where it should be. And maybe we can move the path over a little bit too. I'm finessing here to get this to fit where it needs to go, but it is kind of working, so which is making me happy. Path over a little bit, that will work. That works there. We're actually like pushing this together where it should be. I'm pretty happy with that. That's pretty good. Pressing it together. Let's see if we can finesse this. Connect with that. Beautiful. It's actually pretty nice. Builder. Put you right there, and then like you see like how the terrain looks, or like the pathing looks a little wonky right there. You see that weird awkward bump. That's the stuff that we might have to live with a little bit once in a while. Makes it kind of hard. That's stuff you kind of have to look out for. But there's almost only so much we can do with that, so. And this will take us up to there, and then we'll be pretty much done with that. I'm so excited! I'm glad I'm actually getting a decent amount of work done on this in the last few days. See, I never want to throw away my fences here or anything, because, like, I don't want to, just in case I need it again for something. You know? We're going to try and get even Delilah's in a good spot. Phase 1 is coming together really, really nicely, and I think we're doing a great job on, like, pacing ourselves on this, so we're getting a little bit done each day, which has been very, very helpful. I think for the path on the inside here, I think realistically, we're just gonna make it a big path, and then we'll just create everything on the inside. And then the exit, the park's gonna be right there. Like, it's just one big floor, big gift shop. We're just gonna have to power through there, so. And then we'll worry about textures of the floor and everything like a bit later and such, so. It's looking so good. I'm happy with that. Stone wall. Give me the stone wall that I need. I have one in mind. There's so much under, when you type stone, so much comes up. It's actually kind of crazy how much pops up here. I think it's under the Viking set, so if we go to the one I'm thinking of, just go with Viking, that will narrow it down to a few things. This guy. But you see how I didn't fix that, so I'm gonna actually put the stone wall here. It's gonna cover that piece up. See if I actually put some trash cans in here, because there are some trash cans. We actually do have our barrel trash cans, which we'll, I guess, use. They're not exactly the same as real life, because ours are kind of like the gray color. There are some trash cans that before you enter the Ozark Marketplace. So now trying to figure out exactly how I can make this work, because the Ozark Marketplace is how you exit. You don't go back through the turnstiles, you actually exit through here. So I don't know, I'm trying to figure out if there's a way that I can make this connect with this path. Obviously I'm going to have to put like a park entrance here, but I don't want people entering through it, if that makes sense. So I'm not sure if I can make it to where guests will only exit through this way. That's kind of like the dilemma I'm kind of here. Because I don't want them to go this way. I want them to go this way to enter the park. I do have kind of an idea, but I don't know if that would work very well. I was like, yeah, that wouldn't work very well. You'd have guests spawning in, so we'll figure it out. And it's not the biggest thing in the world if people are entering through there. We'll just make it kind of hidden. Really want people to enter through here more than anything, so. Now, can we get the tables in here? Like, we have, obviously, these tables right here, like the benches, but do we have anything that would fit that? Not really. Like, I could put these in here, but they just don't match what we need, and they're a little bit big, too big. I'm talking like small stuff. These things are tiny little tables, so. Do we have any tables on the blueprints? We'll wait on those for now. We'll just keep it blank at the moment. We don't really have a solution yet for those. These are very gradual roofs. So. We're gonna go basically where the that's showing us. Probably about right there is pretty good. This is gonna connect with that, but we need this to be actually go off of this grid. Don't know how this is probably not gonna work very well. I didn't think it would. Like, how do I blend that together? You know? I mean, I don't. Put it lightly. You don't. You can't. Like such a weird, interesting spot here because we want to create these, but we also need them to connect with this road. So difficult because it's gonna say it's too steep. Go with something like that. And there is pretty difficult. Can we snap up these though? What are you trying to do? Oh my gosh. Yeah, just scratch that. We'll get there when we get there. Alright. Figure it out later. might be calling it here for now, because I feel like we did get some good stuff done, and then we'll do some more here pretty soon. So I just don't want to burn myself out. That's my biggest fear. Like, I do want to get this done, so I'm doing baby steps. I'm trying to work on it a little bit at a time, but also often, which I think goes a long way, if you ask me. So I'm pretty happy with how much stuff we got done today. So I'm actually going to do a manual save because I hadn't done that yet. Now we got autosave, but like I need to make sure that's ready, good to go. You know what I'm saying? That is looking amazing. Thank you so much. It's not perfect, but it's closer to perfect than I think I did in the first game. So it is a little bit closer. This building, Eva and Delilah's, is really a challenging building. So to try and get right. So, but I think we're doing pretty good. Like, everything's looking pretty solid. Once we get, Ozark Marketplace kind of going, like, get a little bit of that going, I think it's gonna really come together for the entrance area, and that will be great for phase 1 for us. So having these paths flawlessly connect is going to be a challenge, but again, the pathing system in Planet Coaster 2 makes it so much easier than Planet Coaster 1, so it really does. So yeah, I'm happy with that, how that's going. So pretty happy with it. I'm excited for us to get to phase 2 in the build, so because I'll feel accomplished. Like, man, we got a whole area done, and then I think the square is going to be maybe a little bit easier, hopefully, because the buildings are going to be pretty straightforward, and doing like the square here and the mill restaurant and everything, and then the little bit of the backstage area, that shouldn't be too difficult. I think the square will be pretty easy. Hospitality House might be a little challenging. That'll probably be the most challenging part of the square build. Entrance areas hasn't been too terrible. I'm just like I'm like, it's just Eva and Delilah's here is the one that I've been dreading to work on, because it is a very hard, because it's with how this pathway does like move upwards, like slants upwards with the terrain moving upwards. It's really hard to get like a building to connect all of the pathing flawlessly. It's easy, again, very much easier than Planet Coaster 1 to get the pathing working, but it is still challenging. Like, it's less of a headache, but it is going to be a little bit of a headache still. A little bit of a headache still, so but it is coming together fairly nicely, actually. So I'm hoping we get more done than we did in Planet Coaster 1 a lot quicker, so we can get back to that point. So I just want to get to the next few phases. I want to get them done and worked on and done, so that way we can move on to the next phase and get to the exciting stuff in the recreation, So Can't wait till we get to like Outlaw Run and get to recreate that ride again. And of course, Powder Kegs is going to be fun too. I'm excited for Powder Keg, and I'm just excited for all of it. So once it starts coming together, it's going to really start coming alive and everything. So, and then again, I will. The first coaster we're going to probably work. The first ride we'll probably start on is a little bit probably of American Plunge. Is probably going to be the first ride we work on. And then also the first coaster is going to be Wildfire, I think. So kind of overview for those that haven't seen the phases that I'm looking at. I'm going to be uploading this on the workshop through phases. So I haven't uploaded it yet, but once we get done with phase 1, I'm going to upload it, also do a video on it. So the first phase here is the entrance area, everything we've been working on right here, all the way up to the hospitality house. Once I get this done, that's going to be the first phase. So the first phase will be complete, which is the entrance area. So like the entrance, ticket booth, Ozark Marketplace, guest relations, the turnstiles, even Delilah's, all the way up to the hospitality house. That is phase 1. Once I get it complete, I'll upload it to the Steam Workshop as phase 1. Phase 2 is going to be the square, up on the square, getting all these buildings done, and also the backstage area where like the host lounges and also first aid. That is going. I'm going to connect that up with the square, so we'll do a little tiny bit of Valley Road right there. That's going to be phase 2, and I'll also connect Cave Road going back into there. We might start on the cave. That's one spot that I don't mind working on later, but the cave's also part of this up here as well. But phase 2 will be all of the square and the backstage area of the square, and that fun stuff. Wilderness Church and maybe like the little petting zoo area and such like that. I'll probably get the cabins and stuff all in there done. The taffy shop, you know, the mill restaurant, the gazebo, and all of the square buildings like Hannah's Ice Cream, the general store, and then the start of like Wagon Works and a few of the other buildings. Whatever buildings might be there, the Silver City Jail. And then that will be phase 2. Phase 2 will do that. Once we get phase 2 done, we're going to move on to phase 3, which is going to be Hill Street. Hill Street with like, it's going to include Fried Fancies, the furniture store, and a little bit of Midtown. We're going to slightly build, I think Midtown is going to be slightly a part of that. I'm not sure if we'll do all of Midtown in that phase, but we're going to do at least the parts that connect with Hill Street. So that's basically all of Midtown. So phase 3 is going to be most likely Midtown and Hill Street. And then phase 4 will be the American Plunge and Wildfire. That whole area back there will be its own phase. Phase 5 will be moving back here towards Powder Keg. At the bottom of Hill Street, we'll do the saloon, probably the exterior of the old Fire in the Hole, the Opera House, and Powder Keg will probably be phase 5. All of that section. And then that will basically, after those 5 phases, we'll have all of the left side of the park pretty much done, which will be pretty cool. Now, hopefully it doesn't take me super long. And then phase 6 will start moving towards Rivertown. Going back here to Crossroads Pizza, River Blast, and Dockside Theater. Probably all of this right here will be phase 6. And then phase 7 will probably be Giant Swing and Outlaw. Phase 8 will probably be Mystic River Falls and the Riverfront Playhouse. And then after that, we'll get into the Fire District and Fire in the Hole. And then we'll move upwards towards Flooded Mine. And then we're going to go into Grand Expo. And then work our way up Valley Road, which will connect us back to the front of the park. And that will be the completion. So we're going to move our way around that way. That is the plan. I have more of a plan this time to work on the park than I did in Planet Coaster 1. So I actually have a plan of what I'm going to be building, how I'm going to be building it, you know, and different sorts of phases. The phases might change a little bit depending on where we're at, but it's going to be really a lot more organized than the Planet Coaster 1 build, so which is I think a lot better of an idea. So, but since I have patience, you know, I really struggle with patience and really trying to get, it's going to be a little bits and pieces. Like, I'm really trying to get the phase 1 done quick, sooner rather than later, but I also don't want to burn myself out. So I usually can't work much more than between an hour and 2 hours at a time, but I did get stuff done. Like, I'm fairly happy. I mean, it wasn't a ton, but we did get stuff done today. And same with yesterday, or not yesterday, the day before. Yesterday I worked all day, so I'm trying to do little itsy bitsy pieces at a time. So, but yeah, once we get the phases done, that's when I'll upload the updates for the Frontier Workshop and such like that. So, all right, that's cool. So, very excited what we got done here today. We'll probably be back with more Silver Dollar City tomorrow, I'd imagine, because I'm also off tomorrow as well. Let's check out our workshop and see if any of you guys have been downloading my new blueprint. If you haven't already, we do have a new blueprint, Thunder Wave, up to 67 downloads now. This is our B&M surf coaster we built on stream the last little bit, so it's my new roller coaster blueprint. Really, really cool. And it's the first time I ever built a B&M surf coaster. Very, very neat. If you haven't checked it out already, be sure to go and download it. I also have a few of my coaster trains from Silver Dollar City on here, including Fire in the Hole, Outlaw Run, Time Traveler. Those all utilize the modding, or the scale mod, so scaling mod. Too much scaling mod, so you do have to have the mods for those to work properly. You can load them in, but if it will just be super big if the pieces that are utilizing the mod will be super big. So they still load in, but it's not going to load properly without that mod. So alrighty, I'll give you guys a sneak preview. I did work a little bit more on Windland Adventure Resort. I'll give you guys a sneak preview. I didn't work a ton on it since the last time I showed it off, but since our last stream, but I plan on working on it a little bit more later today. Go towards the next episode. But I started to work on the entrance area for the dry park, which is very, very exciting. Very, very exciting. Loads up here. There we go. Here it is. And we did start. You can see that we did build a pathway. We're going to fill this in this episode too, and when I work on it, but you can see I did work more on this building and pretty much complete it for the most part. There's still a few bits and pieces we could probably work on. There's that gift shop, and then this is the stairway leading up to the upper level for the restaurant. That's going to be up here. And then we're going to have a pathway that leads all the way to the entrance area of this dry park. So it's going to be a little bit of a mixture of Islands of Adventure theming, Islands of Adventure inspiration, and also Epic Universe. It's going to be a little mixture. So you can see that we do have like this like adventure-ish kind of tower here that utilizes the entrance logo, or the park logo. And it's going to have bits and pieces on the tower that is themed to the different sections. So we do have a western section that's going to be in the park. So we do have some western theming. This is all work in progress. I'm still going to be adding more. This is going to utilize the steampunk section. And then, of course, we're going to have a horror themed section, kind of like a similar to Darkmoor, or Dark Universe. And then our Viking themed area as well. So there's going to be little bits of theming that. So you can see very early on, we haven't hardly worked on much, but the entrance is going to be right here. It's going to be awesome. And then over here, we'll have the Viking area which will kind of connect a little bit with our little Viking themed complex or slide complex over here that we did, which is gonna be so cool. I'm so excited for you guys to finally see me actually work on the dry park. So we're almost there. I do need to get a little bit more of the city walk area done here. I did start on this, but we do need to fill in this area as well. I was thinking about making this a bridge and have some the water kind of flow through here with the water stuff that we have also, which will be a part of the Viking area. And yeah, I was thinking about doing like a little bridge right here. And maybe one more building or something that is up on the against the water. Maybe like one more restaurant. I know there's a lot of restaurants, but you know, that's kind of how City Walk is. It's a lot of restaurants, stores, shops. It's kind of like your big central gift shop area of the park, so of the resort. So it's gonna lead up with all of that, and then this will lead us into all of this space here, which is going to be filled at some point, hopefully. So I want to get all of that going. I'm excited. We got the water park done for the most part. I mean, there's still bits and pieces that we need to work on in here, but the water park is looking fantastic. I'm so excited. I hope you guys are too about Windland Adventure Resort. We are going to be getting into some fun stuff here pretty soon, and now I'm just got that motivation back in me that I'm excited to really start building again. So yeah, the entrance is gonna be here. Everything's gonna be so cool when it's done. I'm so excited for this park to get going again, like just building more and more stuff. So this is my main project, and this and Silver Dollar City, I'm trying to focus on both of them, trying to give them an even amount of workloads, but like, yeah, this is it. This is the stuff. So I hope you guys are equally as excited as I am for all this stuff. So, but thank you guys so much for being a part of this journey with me in Planet Coaster 2. We have a lot of exciting stuff. But these are my two projects that I really want to focus on: Silver Dollar City and Windland. So obviously one's a recreation, one is my personal creation of myself. And there's so many big things that I want to do just in general. Like, my ambitions are huge right now. So but thank you guys so much for being here with me for the ride. I really do appreciate it. So we have a lot in store, a lot to go, a lot in store. I have a lot that I want to accomplish just today alone. So I have a lot to work on right now. I do need to work on Windland Adventure Resort today, hopefully. Get some more footage done for you guys so we can get closer to the next episode for that park. I know I've slowed down quite a substantial amount, but I appreciate everyone's patience. I've jumped through some hurdles lately. Financially, stuff's been really rough, so I appreciate you guys for sticking around with all the delays and stuff that I've had. So I think I'm gonna hop off here for now on this stream. I know it's a little bit shorter, but I have some stuff I want to accomplish today. I'm just glad we got some stuff done, and we'll be back very, very soon, probably tomorrow. And then I just want to get more stuff done. You know, there's so much you have to when you don't get that much time off. You know, you have a million things to get done on your day off, and including, you know, live streaming and getting all this stuff done. So I appreciate you guys being a part of the ride today. If you haven't liked the stream, like the stream, and then make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell, all that fun stuff if you want to be a part of this amazing community. Our Discord is in the Discord description as well under the links. So be sure to check that out if you want to be a part of the Discord as well. So thank you guys so much for watching, guys. I hope you guys have a great day and cooler tomorrow, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So see you guys. Have a great day. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.